Hello Canadian gardeners, cold climate gardeners, and gardeners of the extremes. How are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name's Ashley and I am a soil scientist. On this channel, we take that science and we apply it to gardening and plant care. So if you like the sounds, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and join this amazing crew we have here on the channel. We're nearing 2,000 subscribers, which is insane to me because I just started putting a hustle on this channel about 2 months ago. Give yourselves a pat on the back that we somehow collected 1,000 new followers in almost less than a month. So thank you so much, you guys. It's your comments, no matter how big or small they are. If it's a smiley face or a whole paragraph, I love them all. So today's video, I don't even know what I'm gonna call it, but we are gonna be giving this prickly pear a makeover. I'm not sure what species of prickly pear it is. I have no idea. I'm not into the taxonomy of cactuses or cacti. So that I'm not familiar with, but I have a few things happening here and I want to show it to you guys because I honestly think it's something that only cold climate gardeners are able to experience. And it is leggy succulents and cacti. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. It is atrocious. So all these spindly looking long limbs, this is due to not enough light during the winter. Sometimes, some years, my cacti will go dormant in the winter time and I don't have to worry about this happening. But every once in a while, we'll get like a warm snap that comes through the area, and what will end up happening is it will trigger a life cycle of the plant and it'll say, okay, it's time to start growing again, and it will actively start growing. Now, there's no way to avoid a cacti that wants to actively grow. Do not limit the water of the cacti because you will stunt it, obviously, but you'll also dry out the palms or the fans that are good quality and obviously you want to keep. So you want to make sure watering even if they're actively growing and they're shooting off ridiculous looking limbs like this, because what you're going to do is you're just going to pop these limbs off and you can throw them out or you can keep them. These will never become flat. These will never become nice big. They will never become this. The damage is already done with that guy, so you want to pop them off. And the reason you want to pop them off is because if you get new growth on one of these, obviously you want the new growth to be focused on the fans that are pretty looking and not distorted. So I'm going to pop off the rest of them. I think I have, this one's actually not that ugly. This one definitely needs to go though. So yeah. So the second thing that happened with this guy was he got slammed with frost, I'm pretty sure, because I did put him outside. So this tip here got slammed with frost, but the good news is there is new growth on this side, on this corner. So all I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to take off this ugly portion because it looks ugly, and that's all I'm going to do for this. I'm going to leave this whole paddle because of that little guy right there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna peel this back and it'll re-scab over. Okay, so it looks like I have 3. One here, and one here. And then I'll just give them room to grow and breathe. So my third issue with this guy is he's in a pot that is a perfect size in regards to watering and stuff in my area. It's worked out very well for me, but the problem is that the pot is not heavy enough, so he tips over super easily. And it's only going to get worse because he's already putting out new paddles. So I need to get him into here And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use coconut coir. And the reason for that is because I promised you guys I would use coconut coir. But since using it, I realized it is like honestly a godsend to any succulent or cactus grower on the face of the planet. So since I need to repot this guy because he's toppling over, he's gonna put out new palms, so it's only gonna get worse. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pot him in this terracotta. I like using terracottas for indoor succulents and cacti because, I'll say it again, part of the substrate is the pot. I believe that they work together, and a terracotta pot is going to allow for airflow and more gas exchange, and therefore more evapotranspiration, which is the whole system. So that is why I like using the terracotta pot for that. Now I'm going to use coconut coir as my soil medium. And the reason for that is because I promised you guys I would use it, and I did start using it, and it drains very, very well, to the point that I honestly think it's like my go-to now when it comes to succulents and cacti. I'm thoroughly impressed with it, the balance between moisture retention and moisture loss. So I'm going to pack him into here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do and what I'm going to mix in. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure how I'm going to get him to stay straight up. I'm relying on the weight of the pot, but the actual root system, once it's been disrupted and taken out of its original pot, I'm actually kind of worried for what's going to happen in regards to like how I'm going to get it to stay rooted. So we'll see what happens or what I decide to do. So let's zoom in and check out what I'm going to do. With any transplant, I do wet my soil before I decide to go in and start transplanting, and the reason for that is less damage on the roots if they are moist. I know that's contrary to popular belief, but it's the truth. And then, oh, that slipped out really good. Okay, so this is really difficult to do with one hand. I busted him, but that's okay. We'll see if he reattaches. He might. What I'm going to do here is you can see he's like really far down. So I'm going to add some coconut coir to the bottom just to prop him up a bit, and then I'll reevaluate and see kind of where we're at. So I'll show you the mix I'm using. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to disrupt the root ball at all. And the reason being is because they have a very thin, fibrous root that's very sensitive. And if you start mucking that up, then you're going to wreck the roots that are supplying the juice essentially for this giant creature. So when you have big plants, you don't want to disrupt that root ball. Don't tussle it at all. Let the roots figure out their own direction. Something that's root bound that's put into a larger pot, the roots will find a solution. They're very smart. They are engineered to deal with this type of stuff. So don't muck around with the roots too much. Just let them be. Okay, so this is straight coconut coir, and we're just going to add some perlite to this. So this is a bit heavier soil-wise than I normally would do with a succulent or a cacti, but the reason for it is because it is in a terracotta pot, and terracotta pots dry out very quickly where I am, because I'm in a little bit more of an arid area. So I'm going to leave this as is. I'm not going to put any wood chips, rocks, or anything because of the terracotta pot factor. If this was a plastic pot, I would put larger porosity in the pot, but because it's not, this is what I'm going to do. So this is the frequency of perlite in my pack. So this humongous giant is officially done being potted. What I ended up doing was putting rocks on the top just to help a little bit more with the topsy-turviness of the top portion, but he's not tipping over anymore, which is good. I also like to put rocks on top because it doesn't disrupt root systems that are shallow. So with cacti and succulent, they have a lot of surface roots, and the rocks, just when I water, ensure that I don't dig or drudge those roots up. So that is why I enjoy that. But yeah, overall I think this plant's going to do awesome here. I usually put him in this exact spot every summer, and he enjoys it outdoors. I do put some of my plants outside, and some of my plants I leave inside, and they make the cut based on the look of them and kind of their leaf texture and stuff. So this guy makes the cut because he doesn't have a lot of crevices that I need to inspect for bugs or infections. And then also he has big, broad, flat leaves that if there was any sort of infection or bug on it, it would be very simple just to simply wipe off. So that is why he made the cut for the outside. He gets to go outside during the summer. He is gotta be at least 5 years old, I'd say. At least 5. I've had him for just ages, so I'm sure he'll be happy in his new pot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to join this awesome crew, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.